Decision table testing, a comprehensive overview. Decision table testing systematically maps conditions to outcomes. It clarifies complex logic for accurate software validation. Learn what it is, why it's essential, and when to apply it for effective testing. In decision table testing, the coverage items are the columns containing feasible combinations of conditions. To achieve 100% coverage with this technique, test cases must exercise all these columns. Coverage is measured as the number of exercised columns divided by the total number of feasible columns and is expressed as a percentage. Core concepts of decision table testing. Input factors or causes that influence outcomes in a system. Outcomes or effects that result from specific condition combinations. Unique combinations of conditions, each triggering an action. A matrix displaying conditions, rules, and corresponding actions. How to create a decision rule table for the login screen. Let's create a decision table for the login screen. The condition is simple. If the user enters the correct username and password, they will be redirected to the home page. If any of the inputs are incorrect, an error message will be displayed. Case 1, both the username and password are incorrect. The user receives an error message. Case 2, the username was correct, but the password was incorrect. The user receives an error message. Case 3, the username was incorrect, but the password was correct. The user receives an error message. Case 4, the username and password were correct, and the user is redirected to the home page. Example 1. Your favorite bicycle daily rental store has just introduced a new customer relationship management system and asked you, one of their most loyal members, to test it. The implemented features are as follows. Anyone can rent a bicycle, but members receive a 20% discount. However, if the return deadline is missed, the discount is no longer available. After 15 rentals, members get a gift, a t-shirt. The question is based only on the featured description of the customer relationship management system. Which of the above rules describes an impossible situation? The question is, does the decision table follow the instructions mentioned or not? And which of the 8 rules doesn't follow the instructions? There are 2 ways to solve this question. One is to go through the rules mentioned in the answer option and check whether they match the instructions guide too. The other thing I prefer is to go through each instruction and see if it is mapped correctly to the table. Anyone can rent a bicycle, but members receive a 20% discount, and however, if the return deadline is missed, the discount is no longer available or applied correctly in the 20% discount row after 15 rentals. Members get a gift. A t-shirt is applied correctly in our 3 and our 4, and is applied incorrectly in our 8 as a non-member can't get a t-shirt. Our 8 is the one that we are looking for. Correct answer is D. Example 2. The following decision table contains the rules for determining the risk of something I cannot pronounce. Then we have 5 test cases. We need to calculate the percentage of the coverage using the 5 test cases. To achieve full coverage, we need to cover Rule 1 to Rule 5 test cases. So what we need to do is execute each test case and see which rule does it cover. Then we see how many rules are covered and divide it by 5 to calculate the coverage percentage. TC1 cholesterol equals 125 Rule 3. Or Rule 4. Blood pressure equals 141. Covers Rule 4. TC2 cholesterol equals 200 R3 or R4. Blood pressure equals 201. Covers Rule 4. TC3 cholesterol equals 124. R1 or R2 blood pressure equals 201. Covers R2. TC4 cholesterol equals 109. R1 or R2. Blood pressure equals 200. Covers R2. TC5 cholesterol equals 201. Blood pressure equals 140. Covers Rule 5. So the 5 test cases cover 3 rules out of 5, which is 60% correct answer is B.